Well, pretty much was just Courtney putting a couple things together. The pop artist Dandy Warhol, who's well known for the soup can and the Marylands and the Hills, and an expression that I used to say is my little pat answer to how you doing, what's going on, would pretty much ask me anything. I used to say Dandy. So.
What was the working title before that?
Dandy Warhol's Little Girls.
What? What?
Dandy
Warhol's Wet Dream?
What was that sound? That
I don't know.
freaked me
Something
out.
on the roof, but Dandy Warhol's Little Girls? Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, we're very excited to finally get to Korea. We've heard so much about what fantastic style and design and fashion in general Korea has going on, and what an amazing city. And yeah, it's sort of the state of the art, and futurism and past together, and architecture and design. So I'm going to head over a day early and make sure I get plenty of time to wander around and see things.
Yeah, I mean, Korea gets to introduce us to Asia in general. It's been our first show in Asia.
Our first Asian gig at all, yeah. It's pretty
It only
exciting.
took 20 years.
20 years, thanks you guys. Nobody else cared.
The best advice that I could give is that it's really fun and it should stay fun. And if you do anything, even the simplest thing, like over and over again with drum beat, it's music. And you can shout or hum or whatever, and it becomes something that other people might like. And it's really easy to get started. You can make it as complex as you want later on, but it's fun just to get going right away.
Yeah, there's no rules. I mean, I don't really have keyboard advice, but I have more general advice for you. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have years and years of lessons. I mean, this applies to beyond just music and any art. You just do it. You just show up and you start experimenting and you start expressing yourself. And if you're being true to yourself when you're expressing and you're getting yourself off with the beeps and the bloops and the beats and the melodies, then it's pretty likely that somebody else is going to dig what you're doing. But really, you got to turn yourself on first, and you do not have to be an expert to do that. You just got to go for it.
Yeah, nobody in this band was professional by any means when we started, and it just it comes from years of playing that you get better. And lots of practice doesn't hurt. But it doesn't take much.
It's not
to get
mandatory.
going. No.
Believe me.
I'm not sure what the outside thing brings in, but just that being in a large group of people changes it.
There is something about that outdoor air, though. Even when the weather doesn't cooperate. I mean, we've played festivals in Ireland where the stage is sunk 1.5 feet into mud and it's pouring down rain, and that audience couldn't be happier because they're sharing something together that maybe is a little more unpredictable because you're outside. And maybe that's it. Maybe they're all getting a sunburn at the same time, or they're all getting covered in mud at the same time, or just being bathed in warm, pleasant weather. There's something about sharing that kind of unpredictable element that adds to, which I never really realized that before, but that must be what it is. And I love that too. It's neat to be out there and see when the clouds move away and the sun comes out right as this beautiful song starts, and you can't recreate that indoors. You can't predict it. You can't make it part of your show, but it can, amp up the experience quite a bit. We've made it 20 years. I mean, partially just agreeing that we have the same goals.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to. none of us have let little things or big things get in the way of the band as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like one of those things that from the outside you must think we just magically get along, and everybody has petty differences. Everyone's got their own versions of being a jerk on different days for different reasons, and you just can't let it distract you. And I see bands that are miserable, even though they're extremely talented and they make really good music, because they're so sidelined by the differences and not the similarities. And I mean, you know, there's something to be said for sweeping stuff under the carpet once in a while. And as much as that's supposed to be a no-no, we wouldn't be here today if we didn't just let stuff kind of fall to the side and focus on the real goals. We're not married, we're a band, and we make art together. We don't have to live symbiotically outside of that. And we can still come together and make really cool art and have a lot of respect for each other. And come to value those differences over the years. And I don't know, I think this is called growing up. Well, let's hope that Korea kicks off our, like, you know, our Asian career. And, you know, one of the places that we get to celebrate being a band for 20 years is other spots around Asia. That would be, that's what I want for my anniversary present. Please.